I even have a drink open already.
But why do you have two?
Well, because we're going to be here a while, so I got to be ready with the second one.
My bad.
Oh, you have two drinks too. Yeah, what are you talking about? And your drink is like twice the size of mine plus another one. So there you go. We're covered. We're ready. I hope y'all are ready. Are you ready? What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Dylan Talks Tones weekly Q&A session. We do this every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern time, and then after 9 p.m., we just have some off-topic hangout with y'all and try to get to know y'all as well too. So if you have guitar questions, get over there in the chat right over this way and put a bunch of question marks in front of them. If you use a super chat, we'll drop what we're doing and answer that question right away.
What?
Like,
How come it didn't work? Did it not work? Did I do it? You have no audio.
Oh, we have no.
You're not on the right mic anyway.
Oh. So that's because I messed with this when I did my podcast the other day with speakers, MacBook Pro speakers. That should be right. Playthrough.
Got nothing. Can they hear it?
Oh, I know why. Because sound effects are muted. My bad. There you go.
All right.
We fixed it. No, that was a
So,
super chat, I guess.
Fan Shank Guitars. Yeah, it looks like a super chat, but he is celebrating 33 months of membership, and he said Matt and Chris at Texas Toast sent me.
Excellent. Thank you.
Hello, Ivan.
So before we get going, I just want to say thank you to all of our super chat. All of our super chat people that are going to send us super chats. No,
Future.
actually, all of our Patreon folks who are Patreon members, they asked some questions earlier, and so we're going to feature those on the screen, as well as our YouTube members who have hit the join button down there. The other thing is, the best way to support the channel is use the links in the description and to go to Dylan Talks Tone and buy pickups, because that's what we do. So those are the things. Since we don't have sponsors, that's what we do. I didn't put a link to the shorts down below this time, which I probably should have. Speaking of Dylan Talks Tone, before we get into the questions, I have a cool thing. I was going through some stuff today, and I found some parts that I forgot that I had. So it inspired a little short run of cool pickups. And when I say short run, I think I only have 6. So you better get them quick. And I called them the Testarossa on the website, but it's it's a DAF with one red bobbin. But what you can't probably see in the camera, maybe you can see it a little bit, is it's like translucent, so you can sort of see the coil inside the red bobbin. It looks really, really cool. So one black bobbin, one red bobbin. They're 52 millimeter only, because it's all I've got. So I've got 6 of these, 52 millimeters. They're DAFs, and that's it. That's once they're gone, because I don't have any more of these. And I'm not planning on ordering anymore. I found them today, and I was like, oh, that looks sick. And somebody's going to want a black and red pickup in their guitar. So I've got 6 of them. So if you're doing some kind of themed build, you could order a pair. Just know that you're going to have a little bit wider string spacing. So like on a Fender style guitar, they probably would work. 25.5 inch scale with a wider, like Doug Santinello, like these would work in any of the stuff he does. For example, Gibson stuff in the neck position, it might be a little wide for that, so just FYI. But if you're doing any 52 millimeter stuff, I've got 6 of these, and they're on the website, and it is inventory controlled. So when they're gone, they're gone. We're only selling 6 of them. So there you go, pretty cool. I like those. I think they came out neat.
I like them too. I try to get him to. So, we live in SEC football territory.
Yep.
And this weekend is our rival game.
Yep.
Between Georgia Bulldogs and Carolina Gamecocks, and they call it the Border Bash, and it's in town. And when he showed me those, I was like, "Oh, is that the Border Bash
edition? The Border Bash edition." Yep. I suppose.
But we don't really watch football, so we didn't do that.
Yeah, not children's football anyway. All right. I guess we should get into a couple of questions over here.
Sure.
Because that's what we do.
That's the one I took. Yeah. Rob F.
Hey, Rob.
Seems like you wanted this last.
Oh, I did.
I already said his name.
Well, let's ask it now because then that'll get some conversation going in the comments too.
They're already trying to talk about it. Rob
Okay.
F. said, "Hello, Leslie and Dylan. Is there a good method to tell that it's time to change strings? I just put new strings on my Strat and the difference in sound quality was dramatic. Yet, before I changed them, I thought everything was fine. Thank you."
So this is a question from Patreon. Rob, it depends on people. I know that there are some people who play their guitar like every gig, they change their strings. I have a friend who, if I let him play my guitar for 15 minutes, he ruins my strings. His body chemistry, I don't know what it is about his sweat, but literally I will let him, hey, you want to play this guitar for a couple of songs? I get it back and the strings are trashed. Personally, I can go weeks without changing strings because my body chemistry doesn't kill strings. And also because I have a lot of guitars and I don't play them all the time. But the thing is, sometimes letting a guitar sit for a long time, depending on your humidity and your weather and stuff, can be just as hard on strings as playing it. So, and I think it kind of is that way. Like, it's like getting a new haircut. Like, you get a haircut and you're like, oh, dang, I guess I really needed a haircut. You know, like, afterwards you sort of know. For me, a rule of thumb is I try to change my strings on the guitars that I play a lot once a month. When I was in a professional setting and I was playing, a couple gigs a week, I'd change them once a week. That would be my thing. But I think it's different for everybody. Let me know in the comments, because I want to get some thoughts on this in a few minutes. We'll come back to it. What would you think? What everybody else thinks.
Oh, Rob said he plays each guitar every other day. His body chemistry isn't a problem. I couldn't see any corrosion, so I thought they were still okay.
So I'm a once a month person when it comes to that. And to be fair, probably not that much. But boy, new strings are great, aren't they? They really do make a big difference. It's like new socks. You're like, or shoes. I just did this. I had this pair of hiking, like, I don't know, like off-road running shoes. And I'm like, I think they're kind of dead, but I'm not really sure. And then I went to the store and tried on a new pair, and I'm like, oh yeah, my shoes are dead. But you don't really think about it until you try a new pair. And it's the same thing with strings. So you kind of have to keep it on a schedule. Unless you like dead strings. Because I know some people who like them too. So, yeah. Next.
Shane.
Yeah, I must have done this upside down.
Hello, Mrs. and Mr. Talkstone.
Hello, Shane.
This Sunday, I'm playing live for the 1st February.
I don't know what that is. Maybe that's the name of his band.
I don't know. How many days before a gig should you change your strings?
If you do it right, you can change your strings 10 minutes before the gig and it's no big deal. Stretch them. So the way I change strings is I put the strings on, I tune them up to pitch, I stretch them, I put my finger on the nut, I put my nut on the nut. No, just kidding. I put my finger on the first fret so that I don't break my nut when I do it, and then I pinch the strings and I stretch them all the way down. That'll do a couple things. It'll seat the wraps on the side where the eyelet is. It'll kind of like stretch it in. It'll also seat it on the tuner, and it'll also take any stretch out of the steel, because there are people that think strings don't stretch, but we've done enough testing to know 100% that they do. Stretch them. Typically, your wound strings will go down about a step, and your steel non-wound strings will go down about a half a step to a full step. Tune it back up to pitch, and then chances are you'll be fully cool with any tuning stability after that. If your guitar is well set up, and if you use good quality strings, give them a stretch. They'll be, like I said, half a step to a step down, tune it back up, you're good to go. I've done that reliably for many years. That's been my go-to method for a long time. And then when I was playing regularly, I used to change, like I said, once a week, but I would do it. I'd do it at the gig sometimes. I don't care. People are scared of that, but if their guitar's set up right, it's no problem.
Super chat from Polyphonic Groove. Thank you for the super chat. They said, should I use thicker gauge strings, 10s or 11s, for short scale guitars? Will it help with tuning and intonation?
So it depends. It depends how you want the guitar to feel. And what I mean by that is sometimes people want each guitar to feel the same. So for example, if you're going from a Strat to a Mustang and you want them to feel overall the same, then yeah, you would probably have to go up to an 11 on a Mustang. But if you want the guitar to feel the way it's supposed to feel, then run the same gauges on all your guitars and they'll feel different. And to me, they'll feel like they're supposed to feel. I don't think... there's a reason why the guitar is a shorter scale. There's a reason why the guitar is a longer scale. It was engineered for that. It was supposed to feel that way, and it was supposed to sound that way, with pickup placement and everything. So personally, I wouldn't change weights of strings to compensate for it to make them all feel the same, because it just, to me, that doesn't make sense. But for you, it might, depending on how, what you think you need your guitar to feel like. But I'm also not... every guitar has to be the same person either. So, let the guitar be different. Just let it. Put 10s on everything, put 9s on everything, whatever you prefer.
Mason Bamer.
Oh, it's supposed to be Mason Gamer. That was my bad.
Mason Gamer. Hi, Dylan and Leslie. Not a question, but in response to your statement that there is no one young or new in the Dean artist lineup, Miyako Watanabe of the Japanese power metal band Love Bites is a Dean player. She has an Icon, an ML Explorer body, and a custom V that they made for her before the lawsuit.
Yeah, so you're right about that, but she is also playing a bunch of other guitars now. That is not a exclusive deal because they can't make those guitars anymore. When you go and look at the artist lineup for Dean, they have almost no big heavy hitters anymore. They've got a bunch of, Seven Dust and Mudvayne and a bunch of metalcore players and metal players, but nobody, I don't want to say mainstream's the wrong word, but they're not going to grab any big names right now. And so, yes, I suppose in Japan she's amazing, and in Europe she's amazing, but I doubt it's not going to carry the brand, I guess. What happened?
I don't know. The video cut off and took me to somebody else's video. Did you see that?
I didn't see that. I saw you point
I thought
me
it
to
was
something.
an ad, but I was like, no, it just took me out of our video.
Oh, that's weird.
I'm not even touching my phone.
Oh, that is weird.
It just did it on its own.
YouTube, don't do that to me.
Just
We're
take
having
people
fun
to somebody
here.
else's
Yeah, right?
show.
Steal it.
All right, you want to hear what people are saying about strings?
I do, because this has always been a curious thing for me.
All right. Robert Hastings says, hello, Leslie, Dylan, and friends. I change my strings before they look like the pick. Rob F. was responding to Tim Ziegler, but he said, I've only ever played non-coded. I try to change every month or two, but obviously let them go too long on my strat. Hence my question to Dylan tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Tone Dragon said, I'm like a 6-month change your string kind of person. Tim Ziegler said, I'm happy for the introduction to String Joy. I get 25 to 30% longer life over other popular brands. Sounds like an ad.
Link in the description. Honestly, me too. And my acoustics get changed less because of that. Yep.
Daniel Myers, that's a name I haven't seen in a while. Daniel Myers says, 5-string bass, change monthly. Insert Tiger Guy, never gonna financially recover meme.
Yeah. Bass strings is a whole nother ball game, right? Because A, you want them to sound different than a guitar, and B, they're $30 or whatever a set. So, yeah.
Jeffrey Egan says, weeks? I can go years without changing strings.
Just like the thumbnail, huh?
Adjacent question. I guess you have to see a first question to see an adjacent question. I
Yeah.
must have missed it.
It's hard in this. If
I
you're
must
gonna,
have missed it, but Eric Split Gerber. Man. Adjacent question, Dylan. But what strings do you like the most for electric? I feel like Ernie Ball go bad after a few hours, but DR or NXL last forever.
String Joy, String Joy, String Joy, String Joy, String Joy, String Joy.
What'd you say?
String Joy. Link in the description. Just go to Sweetwater, link in the description, and buy them there. That's the easiest way to get them.
Holster Skatus? I don't know. I wash my hands before I play. I don't sweat. It's not humid here. I only change them due to wear, and that's a play hours thing more than something you schedule by date.
See, okay, so that's kind of what I was thinking with the weather and how you treat your guitar. So the way it could wear out, let's just address that for a second, is if you start to run into tuning stability problems, because once the steel gets tired, it loses memory over time, basically fatigues out, and then you have tuning stability issues, and it's time to change them.
Let's see. I was just gonna. Vinny's World said they got ads during TTG's live stream today too.
Oh, that's weird.
That's really dumb.
During a live stream, yeah.
Yeah, because then you're missing something live.
Yeah.
It's not like it knows to pause it and pick you back up.
No.
Unless everybody's going to be behind. Does that factor into the delay?
One thing I was going to tell everybody too is I do have my Silver Sky for sale. My Silver Sky SE with the maple neck. $800 shipped anywhere in the United States. You can choose or not to choose to have my pickups put in it before I ship it to you.
Okay, sorry. Grammy Campbell says, I gig every week and my sweat kills strings. I use coated Diodario XS and they last me 4 or 5 gigs.
So, I have a question. Mm-hmm. Because you're a health person. Who would we talk to? And maybe there's somebody in the comments about what would cause that
Body chemistry?
from a biological standpoint.
I don't know. Wouldn't it be different for everybody?
Yeah, but I want to know. Like, because I'm not going to do like the experiment about the guy who ate at McDonald's for a month. But I mean, like, if you ate at McDonald's for a month, would you kill more strings than if you ate nothing but lettuce for a month? Like, can you change your body chemistry to affect? I want to know. I would love to find out. This is the ear thing for tonewood and this for strings is something I've always wanted to talk to someone who knows what they're talking about, because I don't know. Is if you ate onions, would it change how long your strings last? And I mean, obviously, you can change the smell of your sweat, and you can change all. So that's all, and this is really gross.
All the same thing.
Right. So if somebody knew what they were talking about, could you be like, if you ate this, and this for a month, you would turn into string killing guy. If you ate this, and this for a month, you would stop killing strings. Or if you changed your diet to this direction, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that.
It seems like a really crappy reason to change your diet. That sounds more expensive than changing strings.
I know, but I'm curious. It is zero
if
relevance.
You're asking me, do I know anybody? No.
Okay.
What kind of person? Somebody that could tell me those kind of answers, I would already be seeing that person.
Oh, right.
Because some of us don't sweat.
Oh, that's right. So we don't know what kind of person that is.
No.
Okay. Like what letters they have on their name. That's what I want to know. Is what letters do you have to have by your name to know the answers to those questions, so that I could get a hold of one. I just don't know. But
get a hold of the letters or get a hold of the person?
No, get a hold of the person with the letters already. I don't want to pay for those letters.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I just think it's
not
interesting.
that you don't want to pay the person. You don't want
No,
to pay
I'd pay
for
the person. I'd pay for their
letters.
time. I would make an appointment and chat with them about it. But I would, I don't want to go to school anymore.
That's fine.
Because I'm sure that's a thing you could do. I'm sure string killing guy, whoever that was just a minute ago. Sorry, I forgot your name already.
String killing guy.
If there was a way, he'd be like, oh, if I, drank more water, I wouldn't kill strings. Like, because I'm sure it would reflect somehow on the rest of your health as well, like not just guitar strings. But I don't know that. I'm speculating.
I don't know.
I just think it's fascinating.
That's... All right. Let me scroll back down if anybody's... Windsurf Maui said if you ate pineapple, your strings would sound sweeter.
Or would they just be stickier?
Rusty said medication can alter your body chemistry as well.
Mm-hmm.
Timothy Potter says, I love onions and have found when I eat a lot of them, it certainly affects how I have to change friends.
Yeah, same thing with garlic. Garlic tends to do that too.
Curtis Shava says, study to find out if a person whose sweat kills strings would be more apt to get cancer or sugar beaties.
Oh my!
I've never heard anybody say that. That's
yeah,
funny.
why can't we come up with some whack thing and get a grant for it and study that for 10 years, based around guitar stuff?
Eric Davis says that eating more fruits and vegetables can lower acidity of sweat.
Okay.
Sean McMillan, wouldn't someone with an acidic pH body type corrode strings as opposed to an alkaline pH?
So, that sounds right in theory, but from what I've learned about acidic and alkaline stuff, it's really different, like the effect on your body and stuff. It's backwards sometimes. So, I don't know.
I don't know when it's backwards, but okay.
Anyway. So everybody, now we're all talking about diet again, but this is actually supposed to be guitar stuff time, but that's okay.
All right, let's finish talking about strings.
Let's do it.
Rusty Fender says, well, if you need to play the blues, don't change your strings. Also, flat wound bass strings are forever.
True. Flat wounds in general, huh?
Greg Sachs says, I use the EB aluminum bronze on my acoustic. I find they need changing every couple of weeks if I play daily.
I love those strings because they sound like that, but you're right, they don't sound like that for very long. They have a very unique sound.
New Gun Guy says, Choose gauges, buy in bulk, change planes every week, wounds every month, keep strings fresh. You deserve it, my opinion.
You know, I like that
You
opinion
deserve
because I hear so many people. Well, Leslie's like, that's the dumbest question. We'll watch a video or I'll make a video and people will be in the comments and they'll be like, what kind of strings are on it?
Even when you said, I was like, what are we going to talk about tonight? You were like, strings. I was like, what?
Yeah.
How much can you talk about strings?
People, it's like, pickguard color on telly is like above that, but strings is like right below that.
I mean, I guess I should know that because we've done like those blind
shootout videos and stuff. If we did another one of those, that would be the video of the year. People love that stuff. I think it's dumb because I use the same strings all the time and I love them. But even then, I used the same strings before and I changed once we made that video.
True.
Remember?
True.
I changed. So I think it's important to experiment.
I feel like you
with it.
also had like a temporary favorite. Like you thought something was good, but the more you used it, you were like, nope, this ain't it.
It was those Ernie Ball aluminum strings that
Was
he
it?
was just talking about. Because they sound so good on an acoustic guitar and then they just die so fast. But they're, yeah. But this goes back to my entire thing about this is a hobby. This is something that you love. Why are you cheaping out on it? So I stand with New Gun Guy on the whole buy strings, change them, stay fresh, enjoy guitar playing. Stay fresh. That's a t-shirt.
You have so many t-shirt ideas that never come to fruition. I give up. Rusty said he changes his when one of them goes ping.
I mean, yeah. I don't break strings, so and I play hard and I don't break strings.
Ibg says, why do 12-string guitars seem to last longer between changes? Is it just because we don't want to do it?
Yep. Oh, they're good. No, they're still good. They'll go a little longer.
Sean McMillan says, how about if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Change when I can't stand them anymore.
That's funny.
David Ledford says, Orphe strings from China aren't bad and super cheap. Martian Murray says, I thought bass strings last longer, or are bass players just lazy?
Well, they only use like 3 notes a song, so I guess they would last longer.
Let's see.
4 maybe.
Rob F says, I cannot find any non-coded String Joy 8s.
Interesting. I don't play 8s, so I didn't know that was a thing, a problem, or a availability issue.
Eric Splitgerber said, I was at a Guitar Center and broke a string on a guitar. The employee looked horrified and said that the guitar tech wouldn't be back in to fix it until the weekend.
Oh my gosh.
Windsurf Maui said, if I had to change strings on all the guitars hanging on your wall, that would be all my free time. CJ wants to know, why are they called strings and not guitar wires?
Because they used to be strings. In early guitars, was actually
actually strings.
gut string. It was made from the intestines of cats.
I remember that. What museum? No, that's the one in New York, isn't it? The Met. Yeah.
Cats. There's other animals too, but cats is the most offensive, so that's the one I
Timothy
use.
Potter says, do you use the string joys on both electrics and acoustics?
I do. I use I do not use the coated ones on my electrics. I would, but they don't send them to me. They send me the non-coated ones. So the 10 to 46 in the dark blue box for the electric ones is what I use on the electric stuff. And then I use Stringjoy Foxwoods on my acoustics. And those are the coated ones. And I really like those strings a lot. And to be fair, I play my acoustics probably more than my electric guitars. Although not lately. I've been playing a bunch. So.
Jeffrey Egan says, does the color of the pickguard affect how often you have to change the strings?
I would say that if it's black, you will change the strings more often because it gets grosser faster. Like the dust from your fingers, like your, CSI DNA comes off and it goes in the pickguard.
Okay, what does this mean? Rusty Shackleford said, I change acoustic strings sometimes after they start to smell. What do strings smell like? That sounds really gross. Why do people smell their guitars all the time?
Everybody does, huh? They do it in videos too. I mean, like, a Les Paul smells
I've
awesome.
never smelt one of your guitars.
Start with that brown case
I
right
have
there.
zero
It smells
desire.
awesome.
No.
Gibsons smell amazing.
No.
They actually really do. And old Fenders do too.
Nope.
Not old Fenders, because, it smells like, first of all, I think that's gross, and I think you should change your strings more quickly than that.
Before they smell?
Yes. Think Dirty Penny.
So it's still corrosion smell?
Yeah. It's
Okay.
still, yeah.
Okay.
Dirty Penny is a good example.
Gotcha. That was creeping me out a little bit.
Yeah.
Nathan Shaw. Thank you for the super chat, Nathan.
Is this his first one?
No, it doesn't say so.
Okay. I just hadn't seen the name before, so welcome, Nathan. And if I missed you before, I'm sorry, but hi.
I'm thinking of pulling the trigger on a Charvel Pro Mod San Dimas
Yep.
Style 1 HHFRE Ash electric guitar.
Yep.
Green glow with ebony fingerboard. Thumbs up or thumbs
Do
down?
it. Do it. Those are really cool. I like those a lot. I think they're very cool. When we were staying with your mom before we got our motorhome, remember I worked on a couple of guitars for that guy in Grovetown, and it was like a sparkly bluey green, and it had white pickups in it with a roasted maple fretboard, like a strap body. That was a Charvel San Dimas, and it was really, I got to play it for a couple weeks, and it was really nice. That was a really cool guitar.
Jeffrey Egan said Fender Mustangs smell like Teen Spirit.
Oh my gosh.
That's pretty good.
That is pretty good. What is this?
Sean McMillan said, I've never smelled my guitar strings until just now.
Yeah.
No bad odor detected.
Let's see.
Still don't need to change this set.
So 95 people just went and smelled their guitar strings for the first time. Except 94 people, because one person already did today.
Yeah. He
Oh
taught
my
us all about
gosh,
it.
that's so funny.
Oh my gosh.
Hang on, I'm going to do it right now. Mine don't smell. And these are probably the oldest on any guitar, because I don't play this guitar ever.
Sassy Cat, thank you for the super chat. I just bought a battery-powered string winder. My hands have started hurting changing strings.
That is awesome, and I like that idea. The only thing
Does
is...
that turn the tuners?
It does. Just be careful on some tuners that you don't turn the especially on cheaper tuners that are made from stamped steel, that you don't break the tuner, because it'll what's the easiest way to say this? Since you're not using your fingers, you don't detect if there's a problem, if that makes sense. Like if something's loose, or especially on cheap stamped steel tuners, or on plastic tuners, like where the shaft is pressed into a plastic piece, you won't physically feel that when you're changing the strings. So just be careful. Don't bend anything or break anything.
All right. You ready for some questions, or
Let's
you
do
got
some
more
questions.
to talk about?
No, that was... I'm enjoying this conversation. Let's just keep going. Do the questions.
Christopher Fiddler says, I miss the old Gear News videos on Wednesdays.
I know.
Pa says, anyone know the make model of the pictured bass? It's got me curious.
I think it is a Gibson EB3. I'm pretty sure, but I could be wrong. Because I'm going off of memory and I can't remember. Totally.
Bear Pa says, hi, Leslie and Dylan. Hope you're both well. I don't often catch the live show. Keep them coming.
Thank you.
I remember that name from back in the day.
Me too.
Tone Dragon says, have you seen the new Rabia bare knuckle single coils, zinc plates on the bridge and neck? Have you ever done anything like that?
Rabia Masad is the big Afro guy from Anderton's.
Oh.
Yeah. I have done something similar. In fact, I have them over here. We did a video about it a couple weeks ago, and we're going to actually sell them. I'm just working on making sure that I have a good supply of the parts. But we have something similar in the works.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Super chat from Van Shank Guitars. Thank you for the super chat. He says, metals don't have any smell. What you smell is actually a chemical reaction with the chemicals coming out of your skin with the metal you touched.
Yeah. Yep. I think I knew that too.
Doc Siltonen is here from the other side of the
Yeah,
world.
I think he's in Singapore.
Isn't it? So is it early there? It's morning there.
It's morning there because first Formula One practice is 5.
Oh, it's this weekend?
Yeah, it's 5:30 tomorrow morning, which would be like.
Is he going to torture you with pictures all weekend?
I hope so.
Or not
Probably.
torture, bless you with pictures?
I
don't
know. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I was thinking this morning, I'm like, I can't miss anything from Formula One this weekend.
Because you'll have a live person
Yeah, because
there.
somebody's
Yeah.
actually going to be there. I'm probably not going to get up at 5:30
Yes,
and
you
watch
will.
practice 1. No, I won't. But I will watch practice 2 in real time. The race starts at 8 on Sunday, our time. 8
Well,
in the
that's
morning.
good. You'll get
Yeah.
it in. You
Yeah.
don't have to rewatch.
Nope.
You're not doing anything at 8 on a Sunday, so.
Nope.
Cool. Well, glad you're here, Doc. I've been enjoying
Your Japan
all
pictures
the
and all your traveling stuff is pretty cool.
So cool. All right, more questions. Roger Borjoy, I don't know how to say that. I apologize. Roger wants to know, can I wax pot pickups with the pickup cover on? And what about shielding the inside of the pickup cover? How would you do that when waxing?
So I wouldn't shield the inside of the pickup cover. That asks for problems with shorts and etc. And you're not going to get a very good net result from doing it anyway. It doesn't really do a lot. And you're going to affect how the pickup sounds. There's a lot of bonkers myths out there, but the one thing that is true, depending on the pickup and everything, and there's some variables in there, but if you wrap copper around the pickup, you will affect how it sounds. I should do a video about Stevie Ray's pickups because he did that, and you can definitely tell the difference. They sound terrible, actually. And then, what was the other part of the question? Wax potting with covers on. I would not recommend doing it. I would not recommend doing it with pickup covers that are not metal. Strat pickup covers, they're just going to fall off anyway. It doesn't matter. P90 covers, same thing. But I would definitely recommend doing it with humbucker covers on because that's why you want to wax pot, to put wax in between the cover and the pickup and kill that vibration, which causes those squeals and feedback. Not with plastic though.
Ada says, Dear Dylan, I changed to Diodario on my Strat and changed Ernie Ball on HH guitar. The Diodario gone low quality, genuine for sure. Ernie the same.
Interesting. So he's they are the first person to bring up running different brands of strings on individual types of guitars. And this is something that I have done in the past, and I encourage people to experiment with. I've really experimented with acoustic guitars. I, for a long time, was running a different string on my carbon fiber guitars than I was running on my wooden guitars. I don't do it now because I like the Foxwoods on both of them, but for a while I was running completely different brands on different instruments just because they sounded better and complemented better. So that's a thing. Experiment. Like, don't get stuck in, well, I'm an Ernie Ball guy. Like, I mean, unless you're like endorsed by them or something. But make sure that you experiment, because it's not just about how long they last and how much they cost. It's, does the guitar sound good with them too?
Rob Murrah. I think I remember you saying that you sometimes have other people wind your pickups. Would the ones they make sound as good as the ones you make? If so, why?
We do not, actually. It all happens here. I actually thought about doing that, but we don't want to have that be an issue, because it can be an issue. It can make a difference. And I don't, I don't want to get into that. In fact, we've actually, I wanted to buy a CNC machine for that. And she's like, nope, because it's not Dylan pickups anymore. Now, our kids help us with some stuff once in a while, building, and like we had pressing bobbins and stuff. And they both know how to wind, and they do help out once in a while, but I still make everything. So my hands are on all of them.
But would they sound the same?
No, they would sound different unless we really. I mean, they're with some experience in coaching, I could get somebody to sound just like me, pickup wise. But it would take some time.
But everybody's hands are different.
Yeah, and tension, like how you wind, it's all in this hand, because this is literally using this hand. There's no machine that does it. The machine is a motor with a spindle on it, but everything is the tension and the traverse, and everything is this hand. So, yeah, your right hand. Looking at it to make sure. Yes, L is left. Yes.
MB, what telly style do you like to swap the pickups out on? I want a Cunife and have a telly. I can swap pickups around to experiment.
I don't really understand the question. Any of your more modern tellies are gonna be routed hum single hum. So you could experiment with stuff just by buying a different pickguard, so I don't know that it would matter. Actually. Well, not hum single hum. Hum single single. I think. Yeah.
Alan Pettibone, as a friend of TTG, do you think it's weird that the humbuckers in my Saturday night special sound like telly single coil? I've tried to like them, but I don't.
No, I don't think that's weird at all. Which guitar is it? The Saturday Night Special?
Yes.
Yeah, that's their least expensive guitar. That's the guitar that they put. Yeah, there's a lot that could be done there pickup wise, and they would not be offended by that either. That guitar, and I think the reason it was such a short-lived model is because they were trying to build it down to a price, and that's kind of why they've redone their model lineup so that they can put quality parts in every. And it's not to say it's not a quality guitar, but I think they were really trying to hit a price point with that, and I think they sort of gave up on that because they want to have better pickups and better stuff in there than that guitar could afford. So that is an excellent instrument, but you could make it better with better pickups. Because that is a really good guitar.
Free money. Cool.
Where?
What do you think of the way Doyle Bramhall Jr. strings and plays his guitars, as you are left-handed and play right-handed?
Does he do? I don't remember. I am googling really quick because I can't remember. Oh yeah, he plays upside down. So he just flips the guitar over. Yeah, that can be done, but you have to learn that way. I couldn't do it. There's no way I could do that. At this point in my life, I don't think.
You can't relearn?
I don't know. I suppose I could, but it would be very long and frustrating to try to do that. We have a friend that locally here that plays upside down, and it's really cool. Henry Wynn Sr.
I don't think I've ever seen him play.
Oh, really? Old man Henry? He'll just go up to any guitar, grab it, and just flip it over. And rip. I mean, real good. Yeah, he's like a bluegrass picking kind of guy, and he'll just pick up an acoustic guitar, and I mean, I'm like, holy smokes. Like, backwards, upside down. So, I know it can be done. I just didn't learn that way.
Benny's World says there's a few models of Seymour Duncan humbuckers where they wrap one or both bobbins with copper for a different sound too.
Yep, because that introduces some eddy currents in there that changes the frequency response of the pickup pretty significantly.
Big Red Shoe 222 says, can I use 3 jazz bass pickups in a Gibson G3 buck and a half configuration? Gibson
Yeah.
G?
If it fits, as long as it, I mean, you'd have to make it fit, but that would be cool.
This is a funny name. Rawl. How would you say it?
Like that.
Say it. Can a dented neck be repaired? If so, is it risky?
Depends how big the dents are. But yeah, I mean, I just know that if you sand on it or something, you're going to reshape the whole thing, and you're going to feel that probably more than the dent.
Rob F. said, if it's dents in the fingerboard, Phil McKnight has a video on how to repair them. They will get better, but if it's really deep, will never be perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, and they said the dents are in the back.
Yeah, no, that Strat that I just showed you has some dents in the back from just life, and I just left them there because I can play with them and it doesn't really bother me that they're there.
Shane Walton says, my lefty friend took 18 months to relearn to play the guitar lefty, but once he was done, he played better than he did before the switch. You've always wondered that, right?
I have always wondered that.
Alan Pettibone says, follow up on the TTG question. DAF vintage matched set? Question mark.
Absolutely. Absolutely, that would be cool. Yep.
Jackie's sang. You wouldn't pronounce the T right? I don't know. Jackie's sang. Will you talk more about bass pickups, maintenance, setup, etc.?
We could. Literally an electric guitar. So when we're talking about an electric bass, it is an electric guitar. There is no difference. The only difference is the frequency response of the pickup and the weight of the strings and the scale length. But really, it's the same exact thing. So your setup is going to be exactly the same. You're going to put your strings on. You're going to set the neck relief. You're going to check the nut height. You're going to check the string height. You're going to check the intonation, and you're going to tune it. And check the pickup height and tune it. Same exact way. The only difference is check your manufacturer specs and set them to that instead of what you would set in a guitar to. It's literally the same.
Roger Berjoy. I want to hardwire an EMG H4 into a build. Do I need to buy that weird clip thing or can I wire it direct?
Well, you're going to need the right pots, which is probably a 25K, which... So you're going to need the right pots, which usually have the little clippy things on them anyway. And you're going to need a battery, and you're going to need all that stuff. So I would just get all that stuff, and it'll be easier. Plus, you won't have to solder.
Rusty, have you seen or heard of the staggered pole P90s from MV Guitars, similar to G&L Z coil pickups?
I have not.
Staggered poles?
Yeah, where they cut the pickup and split it, and then it's like this.
T-Bone. Hey guys. Hey Dylan. In single coil pickups, which do you prefer? Alnico 2, 3, or 5?
5. Definitely 5.
Questions are light tonight.
Yeah.
So if I missed something or you have a question, you have 9 minutes to get it in.
To ask your guitar question.
Yep.
All right. Don't forget, special edition pickup on the website. It's on the front page. I'll put it on the front page.
Cool.
So, yeah.
There's a new t-shirt. You should go hunt and find for that.
Oh, there is a new t-shirt. That's right. The Indian Headdress Skull t-shirt is very cool.
Chris Michaels himself said, I thought we were on strings. Is it after PM already?
No, we're still talking about strings. If you want to talk about
Do you
strings.
have a question?
Yeah, we've been talking about them kind of the whole time, and yeah.
Rusty Shackelford said aluminum strings probably don't last long because aluminum will always fail with use as opposed to steel, which only fails if it hits its breaking point.
So steel, those aluminum bronze strings are not aluminum. The core is still steel. And the wrap on the wrapped strings is aluminum bronze mix. And so the strength of the string is not, and this should be made clear for all strings. The strength of the string does not come from the wrap. It comes from the core. And kind of the magic of guitar strings and understanding them is the ratio of the thickness of the core to the thickness of the wrap on the wrapped strings. So, and the shape of it and how tightly it's wrapped and all that kind of stuff. There's a bunch of, we did a whole tour at Stringjoy a few years ago and sat down with Scott from Stringjoy and like talked all about string science and how it all works. And it's really neat. It's a cool video. But there's a lot that goes into that. But the strength doesn't come from the wrap. It comes from the core. So if you break a string, you didn't break the wrap. Usually.
All right, they're listening. I have 9 now, just like that.
Excellent. Perfect.
Rusty, string manufacturers, how many, and does someone make more than one brand?
There are a few string manufacturers. The myth that there's 3 manufacturers that make all strings is false. There are many string manufacturers. Somebody just bought, I think, a couple of those pickups. There are many string manufacturers, and they all, there are a lot of, there's a lot of private labeling, there's a lot of crossover, stuff like that. But it's not like there's 3 and you're really buying a GHS Boomer when you're buying some other brand. Now, that does happen, but it's not every brand like that.
Lou York X, depleted uranium bass strings. Is that a thing?
No. You would die, I think.
Frosty, what are your thoughts on string twist when restringing, especially on a bass guitar?
I think that people way overdo all of that crap. The string's not going to come off the guitar if you do it right. And you don't need to wrap it around a million times. You don't need to put a friggin' knot in it. That's the stupidest thing ever. People that do that are paranoid, and they've done it that way because some old man told them to do it, and now they're old men and they do it too. Or they're young men who an old man told them to do it, and they never heard anything different. That is the dumbest thing ever. Don't do it. And here's why. Because if you ever try to get that string off of there in a hurry, you won't. And you will poke yourself. And you will not be able to change the string at a gig. And it will be an absolute pain. And yeah, I think people that do that, that's just this is the way I've always done it. And haven't really thought about why they did it. And I think it's dumb.
So that was Alan Pettibone. He said, just placed my DAF vintage pair order, also threw in the skull headdress.
Excellent. I saw it come in. Yeah, cool.
Rob Murrah, can you do your Alnico 2 pickup you potted with vintage wiring?
Unpotted with vintage wiring? Yes, we can. That would not be a problem. If that is not an option on the website, we can make it. But yeah, that shouldn't be a problem at all. That's no problem at all. Order them and send me a note with that order, and we'll get that done for you. That's no big deal.
Chris Michaels himself says, ever try pure copper?
No.
Jeffrey Egan, is there a place to order the metal plates for under Strat pickups?
That's the problem. I'm having a hard time getting them reliably. So at this time, no.
Eric Splitgerber. Dylan, any experience with the Corey Wong Clean Machine pickups? I think they're Alnico 4. I recently got a guitar with them, and it sounds really good.
Actually, I think one of them's Alnico. I think there's one that's different. If I remember this right, I think two of them are one kind of magnet, and one of them is different, or something, something like that. Anyway, I think it sounds great. The only experience I have with that is I played one of those guitars at Casino Guitars the last time I was up there, and it was really good. Yeah, it sounded really good.
Rusty Fenders, what do you think on the Fat 60s? Got a set for my Strat and I like them, but they are really different. Maybe more than I expected. Is it because the Alnico 2?
Probably. Yep.
Timothy Potter, do you have or would you do a video on how to convert necks to the bolt inserts instead of screws? Can they be placed at an angle to allow for a slanted neck joint?
I probably won't do that video because I don't see the point in doing that work. Nut inserts versus a regular bolted on neck, screwed on neck, whatever you want to call it. I think there's way too much energy put into that, and I don't care about it enough to make the video. I think I'm going to probably steal Matt's idea from his video tonight, because he was like, the things that I don't know 5 or 10, or there's probably 100 things that people waste too much time talking about guitar stuff, and neck joints is one of them. Like, neck joints is like, if the guitar is bolted on, or if it's screwed on, or if it's 3 bolts or 4 bolts, or glued on, or neck through, or whatever, the amount of difference that any of that makes is so minute that if you thought about what song you were going to play for longer than that, you would sound better than if you changed your neck joint. Like, it's just that little of a consideration in my mind. So.
Vinny's World, what does soldering the strings do? I heard in a Gary Kaler interview that some manufacturers did that, especially for strings to be used with Kalers, but he didn't say why.
Because some vibratos and tremolos, or depending on who you talk to with that, that's like slide stop, slide release, whatever school you went to learn that stuff. It will pull on the winding. You know how at the base of the string the eyelet is there, and then there's like it goes through the eyelet, or it goes around the eyelet. It retains the eyelet in there, and then it wraps around the string. Depending on where that holds, where that touches the guitar, sometimes it can unravel that. I don't know. There's probably a Jazzmaster player in the comments who has had an E string or a B string come unraveled where the eyelet actually comes out of the string because of the Jazzmaster tremolo and where it hits the guitar. Kalers were so weird, and they hit that spot hit the guitar in a certain spot where you that was a fix for that. It happened to Stevie Ray Vaughan a bunch early on, and so they took wire insulation and slid it down the string all the way to the bottom and put it over that little twisty spot so that he wouldn't do that to his guitars. So yeah, there has been some people. I think string manufacturing is better now. I think that's kind of an old school problem that we don't have as much anymore. But I can think of it happening on Jazzmasters in recent time. It's happened to me. So, and I'm not 90, so.
901.
901. Do you know where your children are?
No.
I know where one is.
1 out of 2 ain't bad.
1 out of 2 ain't bad, I guess. Okay. So, this is Off Topic Hour. We have the little thing, I think. Mm-hmm. We can put it up there. The way this works is every week we talk about guitar stuff till 9 o'clock. After 9 o'clock, we talk about off-topic stuff only. It's a way to hang out with y'all and get to know you. Because I think this is a community. I think it's important. So, ask any question you want, as long as it doesn't have anything to do with guitars, and we will probably answer it. If you have a guitar question after 9 o'clock, you can use a super chat, and we will answer a guitar question only if it's a super chat after 9 o'clock. If you don't like that, you can show up earlier next week.
Seems easy enough.
Seems easy enough. We've been doing this for a while, so most of the time it's cool, except for there's some new viewers who might not know. So, do we have any questions coming in?
No.
No?
Nobody wants to talk to us tonight.
Apparently not.
I've seen no off-topic anything.
Not even during the whole thing, huh? Usually somebody's like, hey, I have an off-topic question for later.
Right. New Gun Guy says, are you familiar with the OTF by Southern Grind Knives?
I am, and I almost bought one at Blade Show, and I didn't, and I kind of regret it. Because they were like $75 cheaper at Blade Show, and I like my Microtech OTFs. We have a bunch of them. I think they're great. Well, I say a bunch. I think we have 3 or 4 or something. 4 or 5. I don't know. It's hard to like another OTF when you have Microtechs. They kind of feel weird to me. When I haven't felt one that's good enough, and I'm like, that knife is $350 or whatever. I'm just like, it just doesn't.
I would like to try
do it.
something we saw, and they were talking about how easy it was.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very curious. I don't remember what it was, but I would like to feel that. Because Microtechs are very aggressive, like.
The triggering is very aggressive. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you'd like to try
a lighter touch, even though I really like my Microtech. So
you know, it was probably that new Kershaw thing.
I don't remember.
Kershaw has a new one.
I just was really impressed when they were like, it was a super light touch, like.
I remember that.
And I was like, well, that's fascinating because it doesn't seem, because of the way it works, it feels like it has to be like that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, because it's a super solid lockup.
Yeah.
But it just, and I guess what I didn't like about the Southern Grind one was like, okay, so this Montana Knife Company thing, it was like the blade was so thin and the body of the knife was so wide that it just felt kind of flimsy. Like now on a fixed blade that's made this way, it doesn't feel flimsy, but for some reason in that knife, it felt like I was going to break the knife off or I was going to bend it or something. It just felt flimsy to me. And I was just like, this is a lot of money for a knife I'm just not 100% on. So I didn't buy it. But I probably should have because it was really cool.
Wow. Hang on. People sent a lot of stuff while we talked about that.
Okay.
Zach says, do you have a steel preference for knives?
For my fixed blade stuff, I like, I have a Winkler that's 80 CRV2, which I really, really, really like. This one is 52-100 ball bearing steel, which I really like, but I like the 80 CRV2 better. For most knives, S45VN is probably the easiest to maintain and use and sharpen and reuse and resharpen. I carry a Chris Reeves Sabenza 99% of the time, and that's S45VN, and I never have to sharpen that knife. And then my other favorite, obviously, is MagnaCut. MagnaCut is sick. I have a... what is that new one I got? Hogue. I have a Hogue Deca in MagnaCut, and I really like that knife.
Eric Splitgerber said, Dylan, opinions on the Benchmade bug out?
Oh, it's the standard. It is the Stratocaster of knives. It is like no, it's not. It's the Telecaster of knives. You just have to have one. It's like everybody needs a bug out. Like at least that. If you're not going to be a knife nerd and like me and have all kinds of stuff, you gotta at least have a bug out. And a $110.
Free money
which
says,
I don't have.
Free money says Gerber Prybrid Utility versus Gerber Prybrid X or another slider. Matt's been pimping the Prybrid X model.
So I have one too. In fact, he gave it to me. It's right over there. I love that thing. I use it all the time. That is the knife that, actually, I just got the TPT slide, so it's been sitting on my bench a lot. But this is not, I hate to say it, because this knife is $80. That little one that he's talking about, that thing is awesome. It is awesome. For your normal little light duty stuff that you're going to do around, what I use it for is when I'm pressing bobbins and like I need to like clean out the little holes and stuff, and I use it for stripping wire a lot. I use it for all kinds of stuff. I love that little thing, man. He is right. It is good.
Doc Siltonen said, best new recipe or restaurant?
So, I have done a couple things in the last couple days. I think we joked about pickles a bunch last week or the week before. I think we talked about
that came up.
I don't know how it came up, but I made pickles. They're a little vinegar heavy. I need to cut it a little bit. So I used to make pickles all the time. And this is, before you, like probably 15 years ago, I used to make pickles a lot. And I got pretty good at it, and I've not done it in a long time, and so I'm still getting my proportions back and figuring all that out. So the next couple batches are going to be experiments and going to make you pucker a little bit probably, but we'll figure it out. And then the other thing is I made some like a garlic sauce fire roasted tomato ravioli yesterday. That was pretty good.
It was really good.
Yeah.
So we've been cooking. We haven't
Been
gone
cooking
out.
more. Well, because I got a new kitchen knife, and that thing is
And that
amazing.
cutting board.
The cutting board. Oh my god.
I didn't even know that could be a cool thing.
I said exactly. I posted it on Instagram, and I was like, I had no idea
Yeah.
that a cutting board
I mean, they try to tell you that, but I
could
was
make
like,
as much
whatever.
difference as a good knife.
No clue. That thing is good.
And we were in the store, and they were like, "You really should get this cutting board. It's going to make a big difference." And I'm like, ugh. I mean, I already have 2 cutting boards that I really like. Whatever, blah blah blah. I bought it. It's amazing.
It's so dumb to even think
It's
that that's a
crazy,
thing.
because it's weird. Like when the knife goes through the food. This is so nerdy, but when the knife goes through the food and hits the cutting board, it like keeps it there. And also, the food doesn't move around. So if you have a bundle of celery, or if you have a bundle of carrots, or if you have a bundle of green onions, or anything, and you cut it, it just stays there. It doesn't like roll around or slide around. And so when you want to like knuckle cut and go like fast, nothing moves. It's I love that thing, man. It's so good. Plus, it's easier on your knives, because that's the real reason I got it. Because I got this Japanese bunka that I didn't want to ruin, because it's a carbon steel super sharp knife. I didn't want to ruin it, so I got the Japanese cutting board, and I'm like, dang, I'm like all in. Such a cool thing. I know, it's so weird, but nerdy.
I don't know what Ada said. I saw a 1000 AD blade made by Nepal.
Oh wow.
Jason Albert said, "Why does the A10 warthog go burr?" I don't even know what that means.
I think that is a military. I don't know.
Is that a joke?
It might be a joke about an aircraft. I think.
Lou York said, "I feel like I've been off topic the whole time. LOL."
We like off topic.
Let's see. Timothy Potter says, "Blade Show sounds like my kind of place. I mean, Smoky Mountain Knife Works gives me wood."
Dude, let me tell you what. You just asked me the other day, do you want to go to Blade Show next year again? And the answer is absolutely yes. For those of you that were around, I'll tell you now, and I didn't say anything about it then, but the reason I sold my Explorer was to go to Blade Show. Like, I sold that guitar because I wanted to go to Blade. Like, I wanted to go there and, like, just have fun. So I saved for probably 3 months. I sold that guitar and sold some other stuff and saved up some cash and, like, and just went and had fun and spent way too much money. But it was like, I'd planned for it because I knew it was my first one, and I will definitely go again.
T-Bone says, "Hey guys, what toppings go on your burger?" Depends on what kind of burger you're having.
Yeah, depends on what kind of burger you're having.
It might be guacamole and jalapenos.
That's what I was thinking. Fresh jalapenos, avocado, spread, or guacamole.
Yep.
Is a thing for sure.
You always like cheeseburger. I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, I like classic too, like pickles and mustard. Well, I guess not classic to everybody, but
Yeah.
I mean, at the basics, I want pickles and mustard.
Yes, and not just pickles. We have like spicy pickles and all kinds of crazy pickles. So we get into the pickles.
But if somebody else is making it, it's going to be like lettuce, tomato, pickles.
Yeah.
Whatever they have.
Yeah. There's a burger that I get when we go to the one place that has the deep fried. Well, I like onion strings. Like if they do like a crispy onions or like some kind of caramelized onions. I like that. I like a whole meal on the burger for sure. I'm not just like a slap it on the bun. Yeah, I want all the stuff for sure.
Never, ever, We don't even own ketchup.
No. There isn't even ketchup in the house.
Never ketchup.
Nope.
We have like probably 3 or 4 kinds of mustard though.
We have 3 or 4 kinds of mustard. We probably have 15 kinds of hot sauce. Especially after I don't even remember who it is now, so I'm sorry. But one of you...
Jonathan Robinson, wasn't it? Wasn't it the same name?
No, I don't think so.
His name was something Robinson, I thought.
Anyway, one of you bought us, the Hot Ones challenge box with all of the hot sauces in it. And so we've been living off of that ever since I did that. And I just used some tonight, actually.
Alan Pettibone says, off topic, ever spend any time in Montana? I feel like your love of guitars, knives, and motorcycles would really help you fit in around here.
One of my best friends lived in Montana for a few years, and we spent...
He doesn't still?
He's been in Flag a bunch, so I don't know if he's back there. I need to call him.
I saw him selling a bunch of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, so in Bozeman. And so we spent some time there, a couple weeks, I guess, in Montana. It's pretty.
A couple years ago, yeah.
Yeah, a couple years ago. It's pretty.
Let's see.
That is crazy that's a couple years ago now.
Steve Rezer said, did Jimi Hendrix really see the Mothman before he died?
I don't know.
I don't even know what that means. All right. Tim Ziegler said, I just ordered a new pair of white boots with a knife sheath on the right side and a stash on the left boot.
Really? A knife sheath in the boot would be cool.
Jeffrey Egan said, the 5.7 is a cute little round, just saying.
Oh, because you got one of those.
Eric Lettinger, what is a good folding knife you can put in your back pocket that won't dig into your hip?
Benchmade bug out. Telling you, that is the answer for a lot of stuff.
Lou York X Dylan, which do you prefer, road cycling or mountain biking?
It depends. I really love both. I do not have a road bike currently. I have a mountain bike here. My body these days, it's a hard choice. I have a mountain bike because of riding position, but I would probably rather road bike these days. I used to love mountain biking, but my body doesn't take it as well anymore because of injuries and stuff.
So, if Bug Out is the Telecaster of knives, Benjamin Boyle wants to know. Oh, no, Benjamin Boyle says that makes the Osborne the Jazzmaster of knives.
I would agree with that. And I would also agree that I would also posit that the Buck 110 is the Les Paul of knives.
Okay, well, Benjamin Boyle also wants to know, what knife is the Gibson Flying V of knives and why? The Gibson Flying V, which means it has to be a little whack, right? But cool still. So, like, sort of practical, but not really practical. Kind of whack. Not everybody really wants it, but some people kind of do. Probably some kind of... I don't know. I can think of things that it could be, but not anything that I have to show you right now. I can't think of... It'd have to be a little bit weirder of a knife, like some sort of like a fixed blade with an eye on the end of it, or like karambit, or a karambit. Karambit's a good idea because it's got a curved blade. It's definitely it's a striker, so it's a self-defense knife.
It's got a little curve to it. It's got a hole where your finger can go through at the end of it. It's not very comfortable, but it is practical for the one use that it has. So I would say some sort of self-defense karambit would be the flying V of knives.
Roger Birdjoy says, it's kind of I guess it's kind of off topic, but I have to tell you, my friend, I've learned a lot from your site. Very grateful. I've been playing a very long time, but it's hard to find good info.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
Timothy Potter says, do you like fried pickles?
100%.
Yes,
Everywhere we
please.
go, we're looking for good ones.
Sean McMillan says, so we were like, did we talk about pickles? Sean McMillan says, you were very vocal about no flaccid pickles.
No flaccid pickles, that's right.
Zach said, is it a wooden board or one of those fancy Japanese synthetic material?
That's what it is.
Japanese, yep.
Yeah, it's synthetic on the outside with a wood core. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Tim Ziegler said, I made pickled beets last week, and when the beets are gone, I pickle hard-boiled eggs in the brines.
Interesting.
That all sounds terrible.
Yeah.
Vinny's World said, do you have plans of going to SHOT Show? We are not qualified to go to SHOT Show.
We tried to go to SHOT Show, and we don't have the credentials for it. I would love to go to SHOT Show if somebody could get me the credentials for it. So if you know anybody who can get me to SHOT Show, I would love to go.
Eric Splitgerber says, I have fond childhood memories of looking at trashy samurai swords in the Smoky Mountain Knife Works catalog.
Oh my God. We've been there and seen the cabinets and cabinets of those. And yeah, they're, yeah.
Joshua Taft says, I love the shirt. We are on native land. Jeffrey Egan told us when it was 9/14 on 9/14.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
Let's see.
Yeah, it's going to be Ducati Day after tomorrow. That's 9/16.
Okay.
I'll be texting you, my friend.
Marcia Murray says, mushroom and Swiss with A1 is awesome. I also like mushrooms and A1.
Yes, mushrooms and A1 together are bomb.
Flying Beaver said, just popping in to say hello and goodbye. Hope you're having a great evening.
We are having an awesome evening, I think, so far.
Curtis Chavez says, no ketchup. My kids would pitch a fit.
Yep. No ketchup here. Our kids eat some. Bryson will eat some.
Bryson used to eat ketchup. I don't know if he still does or not.
I don't know if he does either.
Are you going to ask him?
I'm going to ask him. I'm going to ask all of them.
Blase YouTube. So on the bug out, CPM 30, ? Which steel do you use?
I have the regular one. It's I think it's 20 CV or I think it's 20 CV. No, it's S30. Yeah, it's S30V. They have an expensive S90V one, I think, with the carbon fiber and stuff, and I have not bought that one because that one's like $300, and I don't use it enough.
That's the worst choice.
Brianna says only on hot dogs. I didn't think she would like.
I didn't think she ate ketchup at all.
Yeah.
I also didn't think she liked hot dogs, though. Super chat from Sassy Cat. Sassy Cat said, is it still cool to super chat you a guitar question?
Yes.
Yes.
And now that you have super chatted, just try to get it in there and she'll see if she can find it.
I'll look for it.
So you don't double pay for a question.
Yeah,
we
don't
want
do
you to
that.
do that.
Joshua Taft says, I love knives, guns, guitars, and motorcycles. CA4s too, but I hate engineering. They make it harder. I don't know what that is.
I like all those things a lot.
Marcia Murray says, I drink pickle juice. I get cramps. I've heard that's good.
I've heard that. I like pickle juice.
I don't like pickle juice. Joshua Taft says, I didn't know you can't go to SHOT Show, WTF. So people can go to SHOT Show.
Yep.
But you have to be in the industry, or you have to have like media credentials where you've been covering that material before.
Yeah, and it's a minimum amount of subscribers and a minimum amount of views and all that kind of stuff. And, we've done some content on knife stuff, and we don't really do any gun content because YouTube doesn't like it, and I don't want to get kicked off of YouTube, and I don't want to jeopardize my guitar business for gun content. Otherwise, I would make tons of it because I love it, but it's just not a thing we can do right now, so we don't have the credentials to go to SHOT Show. I would love to go, and I would go on somebody else. It's sort of like if somebody could get me in there, I would love to go. It's sort of like NAMM. Like if you had a friend who was a gun dealer or a knife dealer, you could.
Maybe we can go with Peter McKinnon. Just kidding.
I only met him once. No, I've been racking my brain.
But he doesn't know how much we like him.
I've been racking my brain. Like, who can I know?
Who can I know?
Yeah, so that we can go to SHOT Show, because I really do want to go to that.
Rusty Fender says, I like to make hot vinegar or pique, I don't know, in Spanish. The idea is a bottle full of vinegar, hot peppers, garlic, and oil. Use the hot vinegar on salads, soups, and rices. I guess I'm making hot pickle juice.
Interesting.
Kind of cool.
Yeah, I've never heard of that.
That sounds better than people like Tabasco sauce. Is that the pepper? No, that's not the pepper sauce.
Tabasco sauce is
What's the green
very
pepper
vinegary.
sauce? It's not good.
Is that? Yeah, I know which I can see the bottle in my mind, but I don't know what it's called. Bryson's not answering me on the
Pickle juice as a palate cleanser we recently learned too.
Oh, somebody just bought 2. Let me guess who this is. Yep. Who do you think just bought 2 of these black and red pickups?
I'm not going to say
Hong
anything out
Kong.
loud. Oh, yeah. That's cool.
Yep. There's only 4 left. There's only 4 left.
Oh, okay. So Sassy Cat's question from the super chat. Sassy Cat put in a super
Okay.
chat, y'all. What makes an active pickup active, and are they made different from passive pickups?
So an active pickup is a pickup that goes through a preamp. It has a battery and an amplifier. And so an EMG, for example, has an amplifier built into the pickup. It's not external to the pickup. Some, like with basses, the amplifier will be in the cavity down there, but an EMG, it's built into the pickup itself. It actually amplifies the signal coming out, and that's what makes them more powerful. Sometimes, and they are wound to a design. So, for example, an EMG, we did a video on this where we cut one in half. An EMG 8185 is basically just a Firebird pickup suspended in epoxy with a preamp. So they are different. Yeah.
I want to look up
Cool
whatever
question.
this recipe is. I want to know how to make hot pickle juice.
Really?
Why not?
Sure.
I mean, like, if you had, like, it has oil in it. So if it's oil and vinegar and it's spicy, like, on salad, sounds amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I get some body when I look up that word. Apparently there's a Spanish former soccer player with that name.
Interesting.
Oh, that's not a good word. I should look up. No, literally, the definition comes up. And it says, to excite or arouse, especially by provocation, challenge, or rebuff. So, that's not exactly what I was looking for.
Gotcha.
Oh, Puerto Rican hot sauce. Okay. Found it. Is he Puerto Rican?
Who?
Rusty Fenders.
Yeah. He is. Yep. I think so. Yeah. Yeah. Because remember, he was talking about he's from Puerto Rico and it's only like 30 miles around or whatever, and he was trying to figure out how much distance it was to Georgia because he only knows the size of Puerto Rico.
Is that the super chat I put up? And Sassy Cat actually said, "Oh, super." I read Snapchat, and I was like, "Wait, why did they ask if they could Snapchat us?" But I just read that wrong.
There is another super chat.
There is, but I was really confused by Snapchat. That wasn't existing. Nathan Shaw, thank you for the super chat. Sassy Cat, thank you for the super chat. I don't think I said that earlier. Nathan Shaw says, "Have you played a sassafras body guitar? Thoughts?"
I know that I have before, but I can't tell you anything about it. I know I have, but I cannot tell you. I can't.
We got people around here to tell you about some sassafras tea, though.
That's right. Last week we talked about that. Yeah, I can't tell you what I would remember or anything. I just remember thinking, oh, that's what this is. And I don't know that I would have known unless somebody told me. I do remember that, but I don't really think about anything remarkable or anything specific about that. Not at all. Thank you for the super chat, though. Sorry, I couldn't be of more assistance with your super chat.
Now I feel like everybody's talking about Puerto Rican things, and I don't know.
I have a really good friend that's his parents are from there, and so I have been exposed to a lot of the cooking and stuff, but I don't remember it because it's been 20 years since I've ate it. And I don't eat like that anymore either. So there's a lot of food that I wouldn't eat anyway now.
Sassy Cat said sassafras is my given first name.
Interesting.
That's pretty cool.
Huh.
Let's see. Joshua Tapp says, "I want to thank you both for actually answering questions and being approachable. It's awesome."
Thank you. I like doing it. This is fun. This is my favorite part of the week. Sometimes I'll shoot a video. I started shooting a video today. I won't tell you what it is because it didn't get made. Because I was like, this is stupid. This is a dumb video idea. And I just stopped doing it. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes I'll do that. And sometimes it'll be a great video. And sometimes I'll really dig the video idea and I'll love it. But I always like doing these. You know, sometimes we're tired. And sometimes it's like, oh, it's Thursday. We're going to be up late doing this tonight. But then once you get in here, then it's like, this is fun, you know?
It's fine.
Yeah, I like it.
I am tired.
Same. It's been a long week of nothing, which is weird. Just work and yeah, like a kind of a weirdly long, monotonous week.
This has been a full week, right? Last week was a short week?
Last week was a short week.
Okay.
Maybe that's why. I don't know. Short weeks are worse. Because you end up having to do 5 days worth of work in 4 days.
Yeah.
So I think last week was worse. But yeah, it's just somehow just kind of long.
Yeah, and I don't know. I feel so busy, like I can't think, so.
And it's been rainy. Like,
Weird rainy, though.
But only like when we want to go do something.
And
it
not
was
just
sunny
rainy,
all day.
like rocking.
Yeah, it was sunny all day.
Until you went somewhere?
Until I was like, you know what? I need to go to the post office. And we shipped a bunch of loaded pick guards today, and we shipped a bunch of pickups today. So I'm going to go to the post office. I walk outside, and it's beautiful. And then there's like this black wall that's like right there. It was actually right there. And I was like, So sure enough, sunny and beautiful, 30 seconds from the post office, dumping down rain. And then it rained on me all the way home until I pulled in the driveway and it wasn't raining here. It was like raining everywhere but here, like everywhere where I needed to be. But it's been doing that to us. Hey, we need to go to Costco. It's raining
You open
right
the door
now.
and you're like, oh,
No.
it's raining.
But it could be, you could look out there all day and it would be sunny and beautiful. And then the minute you got to go do something. But that's summertime here with the crazy pop-up thunderstorms. And
Yeah, because you're like, oh, I didn't know it's supposed to rain. And you look at the radar and it's just
a
like
little
this
tiny storm
green dot. And you're like,
right
oh.
on top of you, wherever you are.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, we went an hour away over the weekend and it was only raining there and it wasn't raining
Right.
here.
Right.
But we were trying to do something there and we
Right.
couldn't even do it. Oh, well. Ellen Pettibone says, I just feel fortunate that I'm off on Thursday so I can catch the live shows. Thanks for what you do. That was a really loud vibration.
It was. It was in my crotch,
So
too.
Bryson and Mackenzie like ketchup?
All
Is that
three
what
of
that
them,
is?
apparently. So Bryson and Mackenzie both like ketchup, and Brianna likes it on hot dogs. Did not see that coming. I thought none of them liked it anymore. I would have totally said, because when I said
Brianna.
definitely not Brianna, and I would have definitely said, I wasn't sure about Mackenzie, but I definitely would have said Bryson used to really like it, but he might not now. Because his food has changed. Like, everything he eats is different now. So, when he was a kid versus now, they all like ketchup. That's weird.
Is it though?
Not really. It
probably
might be more
weirder
weird that we don't.
like
Yeah.
it. Yeah. I mean, is that rain? Or is that the air? That's the
That's
air.
the air just going.
Even when I liked ketchup, I had to mix it with mustard. So I think I never really liked ketchup. I do like jalapeno ketchup.
The spicy kind. You know what it is? It's the sugar in it. I don't like it. I don't like the syrupy. So if you go to McDonald's, because sometimes if we go to Five Guys, I will get ketchup. And I will start to eat it. And this is something I do every time. And I dip it, and when you look at it, it's like, this is corn syrup with red stuff. This is not ketchup. And I think that's why I don't like ketchup. I don't like...
Most ketchup doesn't have corn syrup in it.
Whatever
Doesn't
comes
mean
out
it
of that
doesn't
pump,
have-
it's Heinz.
Well, they don't have less sugar. I'm just saying it's probably
You know,
not
whatever
corn
it is.
syrup in
Whatever the processed sugar is, it's in there. And so I'm like, I don't like that. If we go to that, what's that fancy place where we get the spicy ketchup from? Is it in Tennessee, maybe? And it's like super natural. And you know how like really natural ketchup is sort of bumpy looking? It's
No.
It's got a rougher texture to it. It doesn't look like silicone bathtub caulking like Heinz ketchup looks like. Super smooth. Where like where a real natural ketchup has
it has a texture.
it has a texture to it. It's not like
Yes, I know what you're saying.
smooth paint gloss like regular Heinz ketchup does. So if you get really good natural ketchup, I will have it on French fries.
Okay. That was very,
I don't know.
very nerdy and specific.
Yeah. Well, that's what we do here. Breaking it down for the people.
But if we go to if we go to Whiskey Bar, you're going to have maple chili with your fries.
Oh.
And that's a lot of sugar.
That is true. It's maple syrup with red hot pepper flakes in it and some other stuff. And it's so good on your French fries. You have to try. And they're waffle fries too, like the...
Yes, whoever wants to send me a recipe for hot vinegar PK is welcome to. That sounds fun.
Yeah, I'd be interested in that too.
I mean, if they're sending it to me, they're sending it to you.
They can Instagram you?
I don't know if they know how to find me.
Or just email. You can go to...
There's the challenge.
You can, use the email address at the website. You can probably do it too.
I bet they'll like it. Not going to find caballero peppers, but they can get close with habanero.
Okay.
I love habanero. Speaking of So we do like a touch sweet with hot, period. Or you wouldn't
Yeah.
like habanero.
Even the stir fry that you made for lunch today had kind of a sweet underneath the heat that was really good.
Maple syrup.
It was maple syrup and red pepper flakes.
Well, that chili, spicy.
Oh, the chili spicy stuff. Yeah.
No, the liquidy. The fridge stuff.
Oh, the not. What's the stuff that everybody uses in the tube?
I do not like sriracha.
Yeah, so this is not that. It comes in a jar and it's way chunkier. It comes in a plastic jar with a green lid and it's not sriracha, but it looks like it, but it's thick and it's like chunky. That's what we use for, I can't remember what it's called. Because it's not sriracha. Sriracha is...
It's just like chili. I don't know what
It's
called.
good though. And you mix that with some maple syrup and that's what you did. That's really good.
No, it was more than that, but those were the
That
were
was
the
the
things
main
you were
stuff.
tasting. Yeah.
And you had some sesame in there, and there was some... Yeah, there was a bunch going on. That was really good. Especially for just like a throw it together for lunch stir fry. Like, well, I don't know how long it took because I was at the post office getting rained on. It was good though. Yeah, it was really good. All right. Are we pretty caught up?
Timothy Potter says try Carolina Reapers in molasses.
Ooh. I bet that would be amazing.
Blase YouTube said if there's a Thai supermarket in their neighborhood, they'll find the right peppers. So I don't know that we have a Thai, but we have a
Real
really
good
nice Asian markets
Yeah.
here.
I bet they have a Thai aisle in there.
I'm sure they got an aisle for everything.
Yeah,
else.
that place
they got
is
like
awesome.
whole candy aisles and stuff. Like
Yeah,
that place is
that place
cool.
is pretty good.
There's something about like if you walk in and it doesn't smell like an Asian grocery store, like I don't even want to go.
Yeah, you have to smell chicken feet and fish for sure.
I don't know what it is. I didn't need to know that. It just has a smell. I mean, it smells like your, maybe not your grandma. It smells like my
Smells like
grandma's
your
house.
grandma's house. Yeah, my grandma was not Japanese. Yeah, it does not smell like my grandma's.
I didn't know, so I have a friend who, I say recently, it's probably been a few years now because time through COVID was super weird, right? Built a house, lives in the Philippines, and I didn't know they had to have like a different kitchen because so much of what they prepare and store and just stinks. They have like a whole different kitchen where they make all that stuff and a different fridge, and I was like, that's kind of cool.
I mean, I
feel like Koreans should have that too.
was about to say, I used to have a cool room off of my kitchen for
Really?
making kimchi and other kinds of stuff like that. Because of the same reason.
Yeah.
I was actually thinking about it with the pickles, because if you go open the fridge right now, it smells like pickles in there.
That's because you dump stuff everywhere. You should see what a mess you've made.
Oh,
That's why.
I should go clean that up, yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
You remember the container I told you not to use?
Yeah. Well, I ran out, man. I didn't have anything else.
Yeah.
I ended up making way more than I planned on. Oops. Oh well.
Yep.
All right. How caught up are we? I think we're at 9:40 or something now, yeah?
Kirkpatrick says consult a dermatology about body chemistry.
I will do that.
Consult a dermatologist. All right. Yeah, I think I'm good.
Okay, cool.
I get hiccups if food has too much hot sauce on it. That's what Lou York said. I get hiccups when I have something spicy.
Mm-hmm.
And it is like a, what do you call that? An expectorant.
Oh,
Really,
yeah.
I probably have some kind of aversion. I probably shouldn't be having these things
I
because
don't
my
think
body
anybody
is
should,
like,
really.
get out.
Well, I mean, isn't the whole idea of capsaicin like a defense so the plant doesn't get eaten? Like,
Yeah.
pretty
So
much,
let's
and
just
we're
eat
eating
it.
it on purpose? Like, yeah, so whatever. Anyway, thanks for hanging out and talking to us about ketchup and hot peppers. This has been really fun. We will see you probably on Monday with another new guitar video.